I want to talk to you about something your mind does every single day without your permission. It creates problems even when your life is calm. And I want to explain this directly to you. Not to a crowd, not to an audience. Just you. You might already know the feeling. You wake up and nothing is wrong. But your mind starts inventing things that could go wrong. You sit quietly, and suddenly a thought appears that makes no sense but still feels threatening. You have a peaceful day, but your brain finds something to worry about. And sometimes you cannot even explain why. It just happens. There is a reason your mind behaves this way, and once you understand it, everything starts to make sense. Your brain is not trying to destroy your peace. It is trying to protect you, but in very outdated ways. Your brain did not evolve to keep you calm. It evolved to keep you alive. Thousands of years ago, humans lived in environments filled with dangerous animals, unpredictable weather and other threats. The people who survived were the ones who constantly looked for danger. The ones who relaxed too deeply did not make it. Your mind comes from those survivors. Their wiring is inside you today. This is why your brain constantly monitors everything around you. It is always scanning, always predicting, always preparing for the worst. It thinks that by imagining every possible bad outcome, it is helping you. It believes that overthinking is survival. But the world you live in today is nothing like the world your ancestors lived in. Yet your brain is still using the same ancient system. That is the first reason your mind creates problems even when nothing is wrong. It is simply doing its job, but in the wrong environment. Now let me explain something else. Your brain has what scientists call a threat bias. This means your brain pays more attention to negative things than positive things. If 10 things happen to you today and 9 are good, your brain will focus on the one that was uncomfortable. It is not doing this to upset you. It is doing it because negative things might be threats, and the brain wants to notice danger early. This is why criticism hurts more than compliments. This is why fear stays longer in the mind than joy. This is why you replay negative moments repeatedly even when no one else remembers them. Your brain is programmed to remember danger more clearly than safety. Safety is normal. Danger might kill you. That is how your brain sees it. So when nothing dangerous is happening, your threat-focused brain looks for something to analyze. When it cannot find a real threat, it creates one. That is why you overthink a message someone did not reply to. That is why you interpret silence as rejection. That is why you imagine worst-case scenarios out of tiny situations. Your brain is predicting problems because that is how it protected your ancestors. Inside your brain, there are two systems fighting for control. The first one is your emotional alarm system. It reacts instantly, without thinking, anytime something feels uncertain. It tries to keep you safe by warning you very quickly. The second system is your logical thinking brain. This part is calm, patient, rational, and slow. It tries to understand the situation before reacting. The emotional system is fast and loud. The logical system is slow and gentle. So when you are tired, stressed, or overwhelmed, the emotional system takes over more easily. That is why overthinking feels automatic and uncontrollable. Your logical brain wants to calm you, but it cannot talk as loudly as your emotional brain. Now let us talk about modern life. You live in a world that your brain was never designed to handle. You deal with notifications, messages, comparison on social media, pressure to be perfect, constant decision-making, unpredictable schedules, and lack of rest. Your brain is overloaded. It tries to handle everything using its old survival system, but the system becomes confused, so it creates anxiety out of normal things. It sees danger in harmless situations. It reacts to uncertainty like a threat. It treats silence like a warning. It is not weak. It is overwhelmed. Let me give you some examples you will recognize. If someone looks at you strangely, your brain might think you did something wrong. If someone takes a little long to reply to a message, your brain might think they are angry or ignoring you. If you feel a small pain, your mind might imagine the worst. If you are facing a simple decision, your brain might turn it into a huge life crisis. If you are alone with your thoughts, your brain might fill the silence with imaginary problems. You might think these reactions show something wrong with you, but they do not. They show that your brain is overactivated by modern stimulation. It is not malfunctioning. It is overprotecting. Now let us look at the personal reasons this happens to you specifically. If you grew up with uncertainty, your brain learned to stay alert. If you are sensitive and empathetic, your brain scans more deeply. If you have been hurt before, your brain tries to prevent that hurt from happening again. If you are afraid of losing people, your mind analyzes every small detail. If you care deeply about your actions, your brain tries to avoid mistakes at all cost. These are not weaknesses. These are human traits. Understanding this is important, but understanding alone does not stop overthinking. You need to guide your mind gently, the same way you would guide a scared child or a nervous pet. Let me show you how to do that. First, when your mind starts creating imagined problems, acknowledge it. Instead of getting angry at yourself or forcing your thoughts to stop, simply say to yourself, "My brain is predicting threats right now." The moment you name it, you create space between you and your thoughts. You stop being inside the problem and start observing it. Second, ask yourself a simple question. Is this happening in reality, or is my brain preparing for something that might not exist? These words bring your logical brain forward and reduce the power of your emotional alarm system. Third, bring your attention to your body. Overthinking is not just a mental process. Your body gets tight, your breathing changes, your muscles contract. When you relax your body even a little, your brain receives a signal that things are safe. Slow breathing, relaxing your shoulders, unclenching your jaw, stretching your hands, or standing up for a short walk can interrupt the overthinking cycle completely. Fourth, remind your brain of your past. Think of how many times you worried about something that never happened. How many times things turned out fine, even when you feared the worst. Your brain forgets these moments. You need to remind it. Fifth, reduce stimulation. You do not need to respond to everyone instantly. You do not need to solve all problems today. You do not need to consume information constantly. The less stimulation your brain receives, the less imaginary problems it creates. Finally, accept uncertainty. This is the hardest part. Your brain wants guarantees, but life does not work that way. Not knowing everything does not mean danger. It simply means life is unfolding. You do not need to control life. You only need to guide yourself through it. Before we end, I want to tell you something very personal. When your mind creates problems out of nothing, it is not because you are flawed. It is because your brain cares too much. It is trying to protect you from things that are not real. It learned this from your past. It learned this from fear. It learned this from pain. But you are not living in those moments anymore. You are here now. You are safe. You have grown. You have survived everything you once thought you could not survive. And slowly your brain will learn to trust you. Your mind will stop inventing dangers when it realizes you are capable of handling life. You will learn to guide your thoughts instead of being carried by them. Your brain is not your enemy. It is doing the best it can with the information it has. And now that you understand it better, you can teach it how to relax. This is your file for today from Body Logic Files. Take care of your mind. It has been trying to take care of you for thousands of years.